Mark Johnson's fight, and Fernando Montiel has found nothing to do about it.
What's going on? You have to start. You got to start throwing punches. You got to start.
In the near corner, or near to you, Mickey Ward with his fiancée, Charlene Williams, and Arturo Gatti with his fiancée right next to him. This arena was the site of the first Mickey Ward, Arturo Gatti fight, their trilogy, 30 rounds of intense face-to-face combat, now a part of boxing history. And next to Gatti's fiancée, that's Derek Smoke Gaynor over there, who was scheduled to have appeared against Juan Manuel Marquez in the main event here tonight, but fell out of the fight with a torn pectoral muscle.
And he doesn't have anybody to kiss, neither.
Nope, that's right. No fiancé, nobody to hang on to and hug during the fight.
Well, Ward had a retirement party here last night, which is why both he and Gatti were here. I wonder what they think of this dance.
Well, they're thinking that they landed more punches in one round than these guys are going to land in the whole fight.
Well, they made up for this year, so
maybe that's what they were laughing about.
They decided to spend their time kissing rather than watching the fight.
Montiel wanted this fight against Johnson to define himself. Be careful what you wish for.
Was he rushed?
No, he's 24 years old. He's had enough fights, 27 fights. He should be at his prime. Fighting a 32-year-old ex-champion. 32 is old for fighters in these lower weight classes. But as we suggested at the opening of the fight, you know, sometimes great old champions have one big fight left in them. And so far, Johnson has shown that.
You know, what we just saw in these exchanges is maybe the biggest problem with Montiel is the fact that he just isn't punching enough. As Jim said earlier, because when he does punch, it's pretty much tit for tat in exchanges. But he's not punching enough.
He's not letting his hands go. He's just not doing enough. Montiel was thinking about big fights up the weight scale, maybe all the way up into the featherweight division. Johnson told us he's still looking for big fights, but he's going to be looking down the scale. If Johnson wins this fight, Emmanuel, he's going to call out American 112-pound champion Eric Morrell. That would be a great All-American unification fight.
Great fight, especially when you consider two Americans fighting for a 112-pound championship.
But there is a rematch clause, so Montiel can get a rematch. I don't know if they have to wait a fight before they do that, and I don't know who would want to see this fight again.
Paper watch.
And as a rule, usually you can have one fight. They usually insist on one match in between before you have the immediate rematches.
Well, certainly Mark Johnson isn't going to be fighting Eric Morrell between fights with Fernando Montiel.
Why not? At 32, he doesn't have time to wait.
Maybe he will.
No, see, Montiel is having a good round this round simply because he's throwing punches this round.
The best round he's had. He's finally letting his hands go and trying to become the aggressor, which he needed to do 7 rounds ago.
I think he was just not comfortable earlier in the fight. I mean, now that he's getting a little bit more comfortable in the fight and probably desperate, he's fighting a better fight.
And for the first time in a long time, Johnson backs up. And Montiel steps in and whacks him with a right to the body. Johnson misses upstairs. Montiel gets it, a little counter. Best round of the fight for Fernando Montiel.
The difference in the two fighters is that Johnson is more versatile. He can box, and he's willing to bang.
If Montiel would come out and set that same tempo for the next 2 rounds, he still could possibly pull this fight out. Maybe win by knockout.
Don't throw just one punch. You got to throw more combinations. This is your championship. This is yours. You can't lose this. Come on, you got to throw punches. He's got nothing less. Let's go. We got to go.
You got to. And don't make no mistakes, Mark. A lot riding on it. Stop thinking about tomorrow, what you can do tonight, Mark. Come on, man.
Get this job. Come on. Box this man. Cut off. Cut him.
What you're hearing now from Too Sharp Johnson's corner apparently is they believe that they're winning the fight easily, and now they're telling Johnson to box instead of to move ahead and punch.
Power punches in round 8 by CompuBox numbers. Montiel 8 out of 26. Johnson only 2 out of 12. That's why it was Montiel's best round of the fight. Threw twice as many power punches as Johnson. Needs to keep doing that.
I think that Johnson's going to have to be very careful as the fight goes on. But I don't think he can just totally try to box instead of wiggle. He's in a mood tonight where I don't think he could just outbox this guy. But he's got to start getting more control because Montiel is getting more confident now.
Montiel's accustomed to being a precision puncher. He's got to forget about precision here. Just let his hands go and try to throw a lot of punches.
Got a lot of hard punches. Got to punch him, not trying to go for a decision. He needs to try to score at least a knockdown or two to pull the point gap up, or even score a knockout. He's got to punch with power punches.
We're trying to pinpoint the target. Just get some leather out there. Here's a good shot by Montiel. Counter right landed perfectly. Trying to follow up. Johnson clocks Montiel and drives him into the ropes, and then Montiel comes back with a combination. Suddenly a fight is breaking out at the Mohegan Sun.
He punched him behind the head.
And now this is going to be the punch behind the head.
Time. All right.
He's warned him twice for holding and hitting. Let's see if he'll deduct for the punch behind the head.
Okay? You punch him in the back of the head, he's going down, okay? You can't punch behind the head. All right? Be careful.
No deduction.
Well, I'm glad they didn't take a deduction because that was all in the heat of an exchange, I think. And when you're punching a lot of times, you can't tell whether the guy's down or just bending over lower, bobbing and weaving.
I think Mike Ortega's done a nice job in this fight.
Yeah, he could have deducted a point, which I'm glad he did.
I think it was a good choice. I totally agree. Every second that goes by now, benefit to Johnson, an obstacle to Montiel.
And he's trying to box there. You notice he's doing a jab to the head, something he hasn't been doing too much earlier. And trying to keep a little distance now. See? And he may have felt Montiel's power too somewhere in the last round.
Step back. 3 rounds to go. It's still mostly one punch at a time.
Yep. Johnson is boxing safe now.
No. You gotta work the body. Speed. Got that. Look. You gotta go back to the body. 2 or 3 seconds. You gotta go back to the body. Look. You cut your man off. You're cutting your man off. You're cutting your man off, man. But you ain't shooting but one punch. Man, you need 2 and 3 jabs, man. One ain't gonna get you. And when a man charges, you're all set, but you ain't doing it with it. Keep them finished.
We got to knock this guy out. We got to knock him out. You're strong. You're stronger than he is, but we got to knock him out. This is your fight. Just fight for yourself. We got to fight. You got to beat this guy and knock him out. Be alive. Come on, let's go. Let's go. Let's go.
Montiel's corner is giving him the right advice, and they're not waiting until the last round to do it. They're letting him know right now he's lost this fight unless he does something dramatic.
9 minutes for Fernando Montiel to seek a knockout. Harold Letterman, how do you have it scored through 9?
87-83, 6 rounds to 3. Off Too Sharp Johnson. Give it up.
question. Mark Johnson did hit him with a rabbit punch as Montiel was going down in the last round. But I'll be darned if I know why Montiel was going down. It just seems like he was turning away. But be as it may, Montiel, I thought, pulled out the last 2 rounds by getting a little bit busier. He still stays pretty far behind. Keep him in front. Keep him in front.
Flurry of body shots by Mark Johnson there, doubling up with the right hook. Johnson with a little burst of energy, trying to reassume command of the fight.
Yeah, where Montiel was coming out to be aggressive, I think, and Johnson jumped on him and attacked him when he wasn't expecting. Had moved Montiel back on the defensive mode again.
Well, that's Ham Johnson between rounds telling his son, you got to go back to the body. Quit boxing him and go back inside and hit him.
And it worked.
Tactically, Johnson has been a step ahead of Montiel through most of the fight, and Montiel still doesn't seem to feel as though he solved the puzzle in any way. Still waiting and waiting and waiting. Needs to be throwing punches and bunches. Good connect by Montiel as he landed a left and a right. Montiel steals a look at his father in the corner.
A right hand inside caught Johnson very well.
Good short right hand inside.
But it didn't hurt him.
I'm not sure about that, Jim. It didn't hurt him badly, but it hurt him enough that he's now staying away.
Well, he should throw more of those power punches because he has everything to lose and not too much to get in this situation here, because he's definitely going to lose the fight unless he keeps throwing those power shots.
He being Montiel.
Yeah, Montiel.
Good left jab by Montiel. Digging the right hand to the body.
He's landed some pretty good solid punches his last 2 rounds.
Time. Let me know when you're ready.
And now Johnson gets a chance to rest after Ortega rules that Montiel hit him below the belt.
All right. I told him already that's the second time. Don't retaliate. Ready?
Ortega warning Johnson against any low blow retaliation. Hard right hand by Montiel. That stunned Johnson. And the second right hand caught him as well. And a third straight right before the end of the round.
That was a good round for Montiel.
And now Montiel almost walked Johnson all the way back to his corner, apologizing for the low blows after he landed 3 of his best straight right hands of the whole fight.
Montiel may have won the last 3 rounds.
You got to keep putting. You got to put pressure. Use that right hand. You got to put more pressure on this guy. Come on, breathe in. Come on. You got to keep throwing punches. Get punched hard, hard, hard. Don't leave anything behind. Don't put anything away. Let everything go. Let everything go now.
Here are some of the things that have happened in this fight that have drawn the ire of the referee, holding, other penalties, but nobody has been penalized as yet. Part of this has to do with the awkwardness of a southpaw and a conventional